fortunate to have her with us as she touches upon a very important topic just ahead of the Friendships Day. And she's going to talk about, the importance of friendship and how how it will make a very, how for a student or for a young child to start early and to, make friendships that are meaningful. It is very important to follow a few steps and to understand their own psychology better. So thanks for coming today, Amrita.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity given to me.
Okay, so Amrita, to start off with, I just wanted to understand from you that, in your experience, you understand that our highest highs and lowest lows are shared with our best friends and people who are very close to us. But is there anything, what is the importance of friendship for schoolgoers and teens these days?
For the schoolgoers and for the teens, friendship is an extension of their relationship beyond the family. They spend maximum time in the schools, in the colleges. And so meeting like-minded people, socializing, learning the socialization skills, learning how to manage the relationships, managing the conflicts. They may have certain highs and certain lows. They may get into, certain tips with their friends. So how to navigate these relationships on their own is the biggest social challenge that they face. And through navigating these relationships, they gain confidence. They learn about themselves. So friendships become very important part of each teen and everyone's life rather. You're on mute.
How do you think, as people evolve and as they as they grow up, they will be, how does their friendship grow? How does their friendship change?
As every person grows up, they would outgrow certain habits. They would learn new habits. Their choices, preferences, likes, dislikes keep on changing. So, for example, if you ask a child, who's into nursery or junior, what do you want to become when you grow up? The first thing they will say is teacher. And over the period of time, the career goal keeps changing. The same way as a person grows, their individuality is forming, their tastes are differing. So having the friends, which match with this is something, that helps the bond to create and develop.
Wow, that's beautiful. And have you seen with children that, particularly that, it is always said now that when you're in school, you form your most lasting or most real friendships. Why do you think that's true?
Again, school is a maximum period of time that we spend together. There are times, that even in school, our friends keep changing, but still we spend a maximum time with them. We are growing up with our friends. So we know our friend in the utmost vulnerable situations. We have seen our friend growing, and that seeing the person grow in the highs, lows, with the positives and negatives, we have accepted our friend the way they are. And sharing time with them, sharing the tiffin, sharing, the most beautiful stories of your life, or even the, the lows of your life, the bond that gets created for a prolonged period, that is something, that the friendship lasts forever. So even if the friendship, goes kaput for probably career change, or the colleges have changed, or they have relocated, but if you connect back to your friend, it feels like you're catching up as if there was no time lapse between. That's because you know the person so very well that it brings in the comfort level. And after school, the college is another, 5 to 7 years, when you 3 to 5 years, or depending on your coursework, that you're again together with the person. So the maximum amount of time you spend with the person, the way you accept the person as they are, creates that long-lasting relationship.
That's amazing. Do you think nowadays children, their bonding styles have changed because, 2 years they were in the pandemic, they were at home, they were connecting more virtually than on ground. Do you think that has impacted the strength of their friendships?
I would not say it has impacted the strength of the friendship, but it has the social withdrawn that children were forced to make into that has definitely impacted their emotional wellness. So I get a lot of clients with the complaints that students are more online. Students have they were exposed to the online world, and parents could not do anything. The teachers were trying to have the online classes, but there's a difference between the offline class and the online class. When the teacher is there in front of them in the class, that is different than having the lectures online, because the students would just keep the camera off, and they would be in their own busy world. At the same time, many children also complain to me that they do not feel connected with the screen and the person behind the screen. Meeting for some time, chatting is all fine, but the kind of enriching relationships that we share when we meet each other, that was something missing in this online. And definitely there are many online or internet addiction or mobile addiction or gaming addictions that have come up with. Students are still struggling with it. Parents are also finding it difficult, the transition that they have been through. So emotional wellness or mental health, that as we call, has become very crucial. Earlier times, it finds a little difficult, for the older generation or the parental generation to understand, what the kids are going through. So it's best to take a professional help, understand what the child is going through, and, help the child, to wean off.
Okay. Interesting. I think that's one of the reasons why, you picked a very fair point, where children could not connect to the screen. That's why we also came up with something which would help them and their friends learn immersively and probably discuss their lessons and discuss their study preps. Okay, great. Also wanted to understand from you that, there is so much happening around us. And today children are a lot more confident in themselves than earlier generations were. They because they're exposed to the internet and the app culture, they know what they like, what they dislike, and so sometimes they're very strong marked boundaries that they form. And there's also a lot of groupism that happens because of this, because maybe some kids are athletic and they connect with each other, some kids love books and they connect with each other, some kids love dancing and they connect with each other. But it can also be a very limiting circle to form, right? Because then you're only connected to people of your line of interest, and then they're not widening your circle. So in this case, how can students connect and become friends with those who are different from them?
That's a very beautiful question that you have asked. That when things are like-minded, children or even adults to that matter, find it easier to connect. But when it is, difference that comes up, that difference of like, difference of choice, or different, taste that people have, that is somewhere a little deterrent, to form that bond. What we can do, is the first thing to understand that everything can be different and they can still survive. So in this difference, if we can exchange our thoughts and ideas, and rather than proving what is right, who is right, what is the best, rather cherishing the importance or the difference that each of those things have. So there is something called as fixed mindset, there is something called as growth mindset. So if a person and a children has a growth mindset to absorb, to learn, to get exposure of the different things, then that can help even the bonds to develop. There are many, times, that we learn certain skills from our friends or from other people when we didn't have the liking. But if we just have an open mind to learn and to just explore and see whether we like it or not, it's not necessary that we have to ace it, but at least, getting that exposure, knowing and having that experience. Again, experience which is positive, which helps us for our well-being. Exposure which is harmful or which will not give us positive results in the future, are not some good things for us to do. So it's always better for children to talk to one trusted adult. And in practically, I know that the practically has been doing a great job wherein there is a teacher and the child connect, so sharing something with the trusted person and helping children in the right possible way is something that they need, and which is the need of the hour.
Got it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing this. So there are many things that we do at Practically. Yes, we do have live classes. So the reason why we started the Learning Lobby was so that we could get experts like you on board, and they could help children understand, what is it that, what are the subtle nuances of friendship, and other things as well, like how to stay motivated, how to become more confident. What I wanted to understand was that children also spend a lot of time with their families, with a lot of time with their caregivers. How is it that parents can play a very important role in you know in shaping their ideas of friendship? Because parents also have an influence, right? They also have a say, where do children go and how do they hang out? So yeah.
Parents definitely have their say. Parents also have their likes. Parents also have their choices. What a parent can do, like that discuss about, the topic of concern, talk to them, share the parent what view they have, and let the child decide. There are many times, that children may not still listen to what the parent has said, because they are also forming and developing their world schema at this age. So even though you would tell them what is right, what is wrong, what to do, what not to do, still there could be times wherein they would go ahead and take certain wrong decisions or do something that the parents do not like it. But again, we need to understand that it's okay for children to make mistake. As parents, we just need to tell them that I'm there with you no matter what decision you take. Having trust, having the parental support is very important at this crucial juncture, because many a times we parents protect our children to such an extent that we just don't want them to make mistakes. We think what people will think. We also have the fear of judgment, fear of judgment as a parent. Am I a bad parent? Did I do something wrong? What I could do right? But apart from this, we also need to understand that it's children and it's their life. They need to experiment. They need to understand. And what we what children talk about generational gap. It's because the time just keeps changing. Today, the way the exposure that these children get, we did not have it in our times. The same way, the exposure that we got, our parents did not receive it in their times. So it's going to be a cycle of life and a circle of life, wherein every time the next generation feels that, oh, I didn't had it, or we did not do it that way. So we need to allow children to make mistakes, let them know, let them understand, and at the end of the day, we have to be them to support them. So communication between the child and the parent is very crucial, is what I would highlight.
Also brings us to our next question, and a certain pointer that it is very important to be able to accept other people. So how do children what are the do's and don'ts of friendship? How do children draw boundaries? How should what is it that a child should know for drawing boundaries? Like, what are the do's, what are the don'ts?
See, for the drawing boundaries, or for how to take decisions in any part of the life, or especially when it comes to friendship, we'll talk about it. So when it comes to the do's, it's like whenever you're with your friend, the whole thing of the friend. Respect what your friend has, where your friend comes from, what your friend shares. Respect that. Do not mock your friend. Do not belittle your friend. Do not try to say ki, it's just a silly thing, and you how silly you could do that, how stupid you could do that. Do not say certain things to these things to your friends. When they trust you with some secret information, please maintain that as a secret, because trust is something that takes years to build. But if your friend comes across that his secret or her secret has already been spilled, and everyone else knows it, then the trust is broken, that the friendship is broken. What I also see in my practice is, if trust is broken in this age, during the school time or even during the college time, it brings the child a kind of a social anxiety. Trust issues come up. Can I trust people? If I'm being mocked, if I'm being bullied, then I don't want to see people, I don't want to meet people. It's too overwhelming. I will constantly be judged, and there comes a fear of judgment all the time. So whatever issues that happen during the school time, they leave a lifetime mark on the child's mind, and they become the building block of developing the child's personality in future. That's the reason why managing a child's emotional wellness during the school and the college years is very, very, very crucial. The don'ts, I would say, if you have made any promises, keep the promise that you do to your friend. Do not break promise. Do not take your friend for granted. As I said, be respectful of your friend. And another most important thing is, that you have to believe, you have to have the trust and the belief in your friend. If the trust is broken once, then it takes a long time to spend. And if at all you don't like certain things or something, say it out, communicate that to your friend. Don't just stop the communication, or don't just ghost your friend. Tell your friend what is it that you feel, what is it that you're bothering. And if anywhere you feel that your friend is doing something wrong, or that if your friend is asking you to do something which you don't want to, which you don't like, draw a boundary. Tell your friend that no, you cannot be doing it. At the same time, if the other person is mocking you, or if the other person is belittling you or something, then you need to understand whether to, which direction you should take your friendship. Because trust, respect is very, very, very important, and understanding is very important part of any relationship, including the friendship.
That's a very beautiful insight, Amrita. That's a very, very, very beautiful insight. I also wanted to ask you, this is something that one of the students had shared with us, and they did it during the course of the session. So I wanted to understand that, many life changes happen when students change schools, and then they go to new schools, or they change their residential areas, or they change their cities, and they have to start from scratch. What is the best way to start from scratch, especially when children are introverted, or especially when they don't have siblings, and they have they have never interacted outside of their circles? So how do you suggest they can make a start?
For that, the parent again has to help them. The parent can probably take them to the neighborhood, meet the neighbors, tell them that you have come in the neighborhood, make the children meet, greet the children, have certain a list of things, like before going even to the neighbor's house. The parent and child can sit together and just create a rehearsal scene of how things will be when we visit the neighbor. We need to greet. Whom do we greet? How do we greet? If you meet another person, another child of your age or a little older age, what are the questions that you will ask? How you will break the ice? What are the kind of questions that we can ask them? How to find the likes, dislikes, the hobbies, to know a little bit about the area around, where is a stationery shop, where is a playground, where are the hobby classes, and what are the hobby classes around, what is the host's child interested into. So the parent needs to take them through a rehearsal, do this rehearsal, have several practices, and then slowly, gradually expose, child by taking them to the neighborhood, by taking them to the play area, talking to them, helping them understand. Because for us, we feel it's very easy just to go and talk. But for a child, in case if the child is really introvert and shy, then for shy people, what I've observed through my years of practice is that, people, adults and children both have a fear of being judged. What will people say? What if I do some mistake? What if I do a blunder and people laugh at me? And whenever children, ask this question, I tell them that, oh wow, take the credit that you could bring a smile on their face. You could make them laugh, but that does not mean that you're going to let them mock each and every time. When somebody laughs at us, and if we take it in a very insulting way, or if we feel, if we go into the shell, it adds up to that. But if we also, take it lightly, that, oh, I, had a fall, I'm in the way I fell, something like that, then that is somewhere also the ice gets broken, because we may have, certain downfalls, or something. So rather than feeling, because many times in my workshop, I might do some mistake or something, and I own it. When I own it, it doesn't become a big thing, and all of us have flaws, all of us falter, and it's okay. But let us not get arrested into this one big falter or the first falter that we did, and then not to move beyond. Moving on is very important.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is very, very, very beautiful. Very well shared. Also wanted to understand that it's Friendships Day on Sunday. How do you encourage children to celebrate this year? What do you think they should look forward to?
We need to first understand the essence of the Friendship Day. Why do we need to have Friendship Day when children are meeting nowadays offline? All the schools have started offline. Then why do we need to have the Friendship Day? So a Friendship Day is just a day for us to remember, probably be grateful that yes, we have few people in our life who are our friends, with whom we share, everything, who respect us, we respect them. And it's a day, to feel grateful that yes, we have those meaningful relationships. Probably if there could be, some of your friend, like you have moved, you have relocated, and, your friend is back there somewhere in the hometown, give a call to your friend. Probably not necessary only on the Friendship Day, but you can call them a day earlier also, because on Friendship Day, if your friends are out there. So, preparing a small greeting for your friend, writing a note for your friend, which is a heartfelt note, making something, for your friend, which is like a token of your gratitude for the relationship that you share. So it's our own way, of showing that gratitude to the relationship and to the person that we have. Not necessary that everybody has to have a bunch of friends. Even if we have few friends whom we really can, call them our friends, whom we can really call at any given time of the day or night, and just say, like, hey, I just want to talk to you, and can you listen to me? And also one of, do's and don'ts, which probably I skipped, is whenever your friend talks to you, shares you, I had said, that do not mock your friend, respect your friend, but also ask your friend, what do you want from me now? Do you want me to just listen to you, or do you want a solution? Because many a times we are always, because of the exams and everything, we are always into Q&A. You say something and I'll give you answer. You say something and I'll give you advice. I'll give you solution. Rather than that, ask your friend, what do you want? Do you want me to tell something to you? You want advice, or you just want me to listen to you? Follow that. There are times when a friend cannot, the friend cannot understand, the friend cannot comprehend, the friend freezes. He's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell him. I was just dumbstruck. It's okay. Don't say anything. Just hold your friend's hand and just tell your friend, I'm there for you. I'm listening to you. I'm there. 2 words, I'm there. That gives everything, and I understand you. Because majority of the times, children tell me, that their parents don't understand them at times, but my friend understands me. So understanding and supporting is the biggest thing that you can give. Go ahead and do that. You don't need to always give advice and solutions.
How sweet. How sweet. One more thing that I just wanted to ask you. Also, children who are, who are very behind in studies, or who are not able to cope up with in classrooms and all. They often rely on their friends as, to help them out or to copy notes. And there's also this kind of competition. It also happens in sports, right? Those who are really good will kind of mock the ones who are not that good. And you kind of said that, we should stop mocking each other, and we should. But do you think, how can a child develop their individuality while they are building friendships? Because it can happen that those who are studying may lose interest in studies just because the entire group is not in it, or those who are into sports may suddenly lose interest because others are studying and they are taking secured careers. So how is it that people can keep themselves, or children or students can keep themselves grounded in their own individuality?
We need to understand one thing, that there are very few people who are completely all-rounders. Who can manage the studies, who can manage the hobbies, who can manage the sports, the extracurricular. There are very few people. So it's okay for some people to shine out that bright. Let us look for the light within. So rather than feeling overwhelmed that, oh my God, how can that person just do it? What does that person do? Rather, what is it that I can do? What am I good at? And work on our own strengths. Because every person has strength. It's only, if the elephant starts saying that, oh, I cannot fly like an eagle, or I cannot fly like a seagull, then the elephant's is going to land up into my clinic. So rather, if the elephant says, or if each individual says, what is it that I'm good at? What is it that I like? And what is it that makes me happy? Go ahead and do that. Competitions do not help beyond a limit. Competition, a healthy competition, is something which brings out the best in you, but we do not want competition which mars your emotional wellness. A competition that makes you feel sad, makes you feel that you're good for nothing, makes you lose hope in yourself, makes you feel jealous about others, makes you feel that, oh, I'm so dumb and I just cannot do anything. That kind of a competition is completely unhealthy. We just need to look within, what I'm good at, what gives me happiness. Go ahead and do that. And work on the skills, which because if we are not so good in studies, then we need to manage those weak areas, manage to a level that we can just, sail through, pass through, move ahead. Otherwise, work on your strengths.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amrita, for sharing this so beautifully. Is there any passing message, any last message that you'd like to share with, everyone at Practically who's listening to you right now?
One common thing that I would like to tell everyone, be it children or adult, when the other person is saying something or sharing with you, listen to them, just be with them. Do not listen to calculate an answer, to calculate what I'm going to answer the next. Because in, that thinking, that what I should answer or how should I defend myself, you're missing out on the whole information. So just listen to understand what the person is trying to say. Do not judge the person. As a human being, we might judge the person. It's okay. But then move beyond the judgment and accept that the person is different from you. Don't stay with your judgment forever. Otherwise, your judgment becomes your prejudice. So accept people as they are, respect them, build the trust, build the relationship. Because you never know, what's going in the other person's life, although they look happy, although they look fine, but what goes inside, and every one of us is waging a war within ourselves. Everyone is, living their own battles. So if we can't help them, we have no right to ruin their life. So if you can't help, don't mock, don't judge, don't say anything negative. Just be with them and accept people as they are. As it is, they are just friends, or they are just people. It's like, a character in a play which plays their role and goes away. you're not permanently connected. So it's okay, let them be, and you be the way you are.
Got it. So beautiful. Thank you so much, Amrita, for joining us today. It was really nice to have you, come and talk to us. We may have some more questions come up from, students in the course of time, and we'll send you those questions and you can probably reply on it. Um, we loved all your insights. Anything that you want to talk about?
I'm very grateful, to practically to give me this chance, opportunity to come and talk to all of you. Um, Sharing the joys, sharing the knowledge, that's the biggest joy for me. Um, we all struggle and we all have made mistakes. So making mistakes is not at all a big thing, but not learning from the mistake, committing the same mistake again and again is the biggest mistake. So it's okay, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and keep growing and keep spreading happiness. That's all.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so much.
I'm so happy, glad, that practical is bringing out such topics, which is bridging the gap not only in the education, but even beyond education. So it's great thing for for children to get this exposure. So kudos to your platform.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So we sign off, everyone. If there's anything, like, if you have any more questions, please feel free to write to us. We will be available on Learning Lobby at practically.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you once again, Amrita.
Welcome.
Have a great week ahead.
And have a great Friendships Day to all of you.
Yes, likewise. Bye-bye.